It's the most wonderful time of the year. Hey guys, it's Aaron back with another review for you. Today is day 7 of my Halloween month, and today I'm going to be talking about the film Scooby Doo on Zombie Island. So I've got my notes. Let's dive right in. Let me get this guy turned off for a second. Okay. Scooby Doo on Zombie Island, released September 22nd, 1998. I was surprised by that because when I was watching it, I thought it was a lot more recent. Like, I thought it came out like after the Scooby Doo live action film. But anyway, directed by Jim Stenstrom, starring Billy West, Mary Kay Bergman, Frank Weller, B.J. Ward, Adrienne Barbeau. For any of you that don't know her, she was married to John Carpenter for a while, and she's an actress. She's in all kinds of things, but the one I'm thinking of is she was in The Thing. And also, for my SOA fans out there, she was Venus's mom in season 6. Tara Cherendenkoff, I'm sorry on that one. Kim Clarkey, Jim Cummings, who is, a lot of you probably know his voice, didn't know his name though. He is the current installation of Winnie the Pooh, and he is countless other people. You can look him up. He has done an insane amount of voice acting, so he's the boss. Mark Hamill, the one and only Luke Skywalker himself, Jennifer Lee Warren, and Ed Gilbert. So it's a pretty good cast, as you can see. A lot of great, especially for voice acting. Great cast there. Let's see. The plot is basically Scooby and the rest of the gang encounter creepy characters at a haunted house in a Louisiana bayou. Typical Scooby-Doo stuff. So, when it comes to Scooby-Doo films, especially nowadays, it's more a matter of what separates this one apart from the others. Like, why is this one a lot better? Because everybody loves Scooby-Doo. I don't know anybody that doesn't. Scooby-Doo's awesome. However, this film I don't really think did that, unfortunately. So for all of you guys, I know I just said everyone knows Scooby-Doo, but for people that don't know Scooby-Doo, what Scooby-Doo is, it was a show, I believe, released back in the 60s initially. It was a Hanna-Barbera cartoon about a ghost hunting crew, and they have the Mystery Machine. There's Fred, Velma, Daphne, Shaggy, and their dog friend Scooby-Doo, who can talk, and he sounds pretty awesome. Ruby, Ruby, Roo! I don't know if that was good or not, but anyway. But so that's what it is. That's the basic plot of Scooby-Doo, and it was awesome. It's everything you want. It's comedy. It's pretty good action especially for its time. It's scary. It's Halloween all year round. It's awesome for kids like me. Scooby-Doo's the bomb. And so this was the movie that was released in 1998 of that genre. So the show, like I said, was incredible, and there have been movies that have been incredible. This one, unfortunately, for me, I just wasn't feeling it. I mean, like I said, it has the classic Scooby-Doo feel. It has all of the great things you expect from it, but when, like myself, when I'm reviewing it as a critic and I'm trying to be objective with it, and I watch films like this, I try to look for the good as well as the bad, of course. And so in this film, I unfortunately think that the bad outweighed the good. Yes, we have Scooby-Doo and the gang. Yes, they're fighting against monsters. They have the Mystery Machine and all that. So all the things you want in there on the surface are there, but then you got to give, like I said, there's been going on forever. You've got to separate yourself from the rest of it. And this one to me just seemed kind of like it could have just been an episode. I think had it been just a half an hour episode, and it wouldn't have been bad at all. But this one, stretching it out, it's a little over an hour and a half, and stretching it out, for that long, it just doesn't seem to be necessary. And maybe not necessary is the bad word. If you're going to do it, you got to do it right. And like I said, there are so many films before this one. There was the whole TV show, and you've got to separate yourself from the rest. And this one didn't. It just wasn't up to snuff with a lot of things. The comedy wasn't that great. I mean, it was funny, but it wasn't that great. There wasn't an inventive, real ghost that I saw that I personally thought was very inventive, something I hadn't seen before. The side characters, nothing special, I know it's kind of, I think, a little Scooby Doo bad guys are maybe cliched now, but like I'm talking the second that the bad guy comes on screen and it's like, oh, this is so and so, I'm like, he's the bad guy. I mean, like, there wasn't even a question. He's the bad guy. He announced his motive right in the beginning. He, um, you know, was grouchy with everybody. He was mad that the gang was even there. So I mean, and I understand. I think I would have appreciated it a little more had they diverted from that and been like, oh no, it was actually her or whatever it was, because it was very, I could tell. I could tell. And then there was this guy, there was this one prick that was there, and he was just this idiot, like hillbilly something. I don't know. He just was on the bayou, born on the bayou, and he was just kind of hanging out there, and he hated everything, everyone. He just everything that came by just made him mad. But he had this pet, and it looked like a pig with a turtle body. I don't know what it was supposed to be, but I swear if you watch this film, you'll see that, and it's like, the hell's that? I mean, it really just is. It didn't look like anything that I've ever seen before that was anything real. I don't know if there's some mythological creature out there that it was based on or something, but I've never seen anything like it, real or in drawings or pictures or anything. I don't know. I've just never seen it. But uh, I don't know. And there's just two. I guess it was, for me, it was just there were too many tropes that were happening that I was expecting, and it's fine with, because sometimes you get the formula and it is what it is, and that's like with Scooby Doo. I'm absolutely fine with the formula. Kids hate their dog, go find the bad guys and get them out of the town. I'm completely cool with that. That's what it is. Scooby Doo is awesome in so many levels. That's why you can't hate these too much, because they're harmless. It's innocent. There's nothing wrong with it in the sense of like, is it okay for kids? Of course it is. It's Scooby Doo, and I think every incarnation that's done that has been doing that for the whole time. They've just been, okay, it's Scooby Doo. It is what it is. So there's in that in that regard, it was fine. So it was nice. And but then there's this part. Okay, so there's all these people helping out the bad guys. Okay, and at some point in the film, so we're in Louisiana, and they kind of played on the whole voodoo aspect of it a little. So there's this one part where it's towards the end of the film. I mean, there was like maybe 15 minutes left at this point, and they all of a sudden there are these humans that turn into real monsters. So it's like I was sitting there watching. I'm like, and mind you, this is almost the end of the film, like I said, and I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, what are the rules here? I know it's just, I know it's a Scooby Doo film. I understand that it's a cartoon and things can happen. I'm completely aware of that. I'm not judging it based on the parameters of a cartoon. I'm judging it based on the parameters of the world it's created in itself. So it's like, okay, this was never talked about before. There was never mention of anything like this that I remember, and I might be wrong. If you've seen this, you might want to quote or whatever, but I don't remember there being anything like this. And then out of nowhere, it's like, okay, Voodoo Magic, here we go, boom. And it's like, well, wait a second. This was all real life all of a sudden, or a second ago, and now here we have this magic stuff happening, which I'm not against, even in a realistic film. I'm fine with, but you have to establish it, I think, beforehand, because to me it kind of felt like a last minute, like, oh crap, we need something else to happen here. And that's kind of what, like I said, that's what I felt like happened. It was like, oh, we still have some time to pad out, boom. And and so there's that. And then not to mention the design for the creatures overall was not good, except for the one that did jump out at me. There's two sisters that are involved with the case, and they end up becoming werewolves. They get turned into werewolves at some point, and those were cool. The rest of them were pretty subpar, nothing that I hadn't seen before, but the werewolf design on those two sisters, I got to give credit to the art department, because it was pretty nice. I remember watching it, and I was like, well, if those things were real, like if we saw this, incarnation of a werewolf and threw it into a live action film, those would be some real things those would be a force to be reckoned with. And that's, I like seeing that. I like trying to imagine, well, if this was in real life, what would it be? And the things I was just complaining about, like I said, I understand it's a cartoon, but you know I've got to I assume that if I'm reviewing something, I need to review it for exactly what it is. So my parameters, like I said, are I have to review the film. Does it work? Does it work in real life? Does it work in the world that it creates? Does it work in fantasy? I mean, I have to take all that into consideration. And so for the Scooby Doo world that we know and love, this one does not hold up as well as the other ones that I've seen. And granted, I haven't seen a lot of them. I know that Scooby Doo's been doing its thing since it came out, and it's still, he's still one of the best popular characters. And I hope he keeps going. I hope Scooby and the gang solve mysteries as long as there's TVs to watch it on. But with all your great ones, you're going to have a couple misses. And this, unfortunately, was one of those misses. And I don't know. It's harmless. There's nothing, like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. It's like, there's no bad morals or anything like that. So, I mean, in that regard, it does its job. That's, why and I think about these things while I'm reviewing, because I can't just be like, I didn't like it, 1 out of 10. It's like, well, is there something good about it? There's something, so yeah, like I said, there were a couple good things in here. The art overall is good. The story initially, I don't think is bad. It was the execution of it. It wasn't overly funny, which bothered me, because that's the one thing too. Even if I don't like a film, if it's a comedy and it's like, if I walk out laughing a little, it's like, okay, it did what it was supposed to do. So that's fine. And this one didn't make me laugh that much. There were a couple of moments, like where Shag and Scoob were doing their thing and getting the munchies and going to find food. That was nice. And it was funny, but for the most part, it just was a lot of hit and miss comedy. And unfortunately, it's just unfortunate because you heard who I listed off here. There were some high caliber people in this film, great actors, great voice actors, and like I said, that kind of stuff is fine where it was. The it really was the story, and unfortunately it really suffered the film because of it, in my opinion. You guys may watch this and be like, you're just a jerk over analyzing a children's film. And as far as, like I said, as far as a children's film, there's nothing wrong with it. I have no objections. You show your kids, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with it. It's fine. You won't have any qualms from me. But on is this a good film level? It's just really not, unfortunately. Well, I pretty much think that I was reviewing over my notes real quick. Oh, there's one thing that was thinking of. So there's this one part where they are on the water, on a boat on the water, and it's all the guys and everyone else, and Scooby and Shag fall off the back of the boat, and of course, like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? You know, we gotta save this guy and everything else, and save the guys and everything else. And so the fisherman dude or whatever he is, the bar on the bayou guy, he hooks him in and pulls him in, and then he talks about how he's like, I should have let the gators eat you. I'm talking almost instantly after he saves him, and I'm like, then what'd you save him for? I mean, you're like I said, he saves him, gets him back on the dry land, and I'm talking within 30 seconds, he's like, I just should have let the gators get you. And it's like, they don't say anything that offends him. They're not overly annoying. So it's like, I just don't understand. He's just a bitter old prick to be a bitter old prick for literally no reason. I just don't. And that was it. And that's all he's in the film. He's there. He's mean. He tells the gang, like, oh, okay, well, you guys, blah, 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 blah. He just kind of does the typical horror film, like, hillbilly thing, and then that's it. It's like, so you're just being a jerk to these presumably teenagers and their dog for literally no reason. So yeah, like I said, I just, that was something else. I'd starred that I forgot, so I'd see it for sure. I just thought it was completely silly, but you, like I said, you may love this film, you may loved it as a kid or whatever. there's a lot of reasons why I think that I would love it, but it just doesn't hold up for me. But, like I said, 3 out of a 10, that's what I'll give it. I know it's low, but well, guys, thanks for joining me so far. Join me next, hopefully tomorrow if everything goes right. I'm trying to upload these every day, just as long as my schedule holds. But upload me, follow me, and like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Let's get some views going. Let's get a bigger community for each other, and you guys can start, like I said, throw me some films you guys want me to review. I've got my list, but I mean, I don't mind changing. I'm flexible, so just throw them to me, and we'll get it going, guys. Alrighty, take it easy.